All right, everybody, welcome to our first Diesel Nation call of April. Believe it or not, it is April 4th. I swear to God, I don't know where time is going. The school year is quickly coming to an end. We are almost heading into Summit. We already have a Summit group going for those going to Summit. It is insane. But thank you for being on, taking time out of your busy nights to join us tonight. Monica and I have the pleasure of hosting this call. And just to give you a little bit of a background on this call, last week we did a rendition of this call for some of our new and up and coming coaches on our team. So it is more of a kind of beginner slash I'm getting my feet wet in the business slash I need a kick in the butt slash is a good reminder that I don't do slash all of that good stuff. So the call really is for everybody to kick off March in a big way because, April in a big way because April is always a really good month. People have gotten their tax refunds. They're ready to get in shape for the summer. We've got great challenge pack sales. Things start rolling this time of year into the summer months, and it's our job, it's our opportunity to take that momentum that we already have and keep pushing forward. So if you are a new coach on this call, let me introduce myself. All you old folks, you can roll your eyes now, but my name is Kristina Delgado. I am the co-founder of Diesel Nation, which is the team that you are a part of. Pretty certain that if you're not personally sponsored by me, you have another team name that you might be a part of. You might be part of Diesel Core or, there's a slew of other names that are comprised within the Diesel Nation family, but it is a family. We love our team. We have a great team. Our big Diesel Nation team is about 14,000 coaches now. If you can believe that, it is absolutely incredible. And as a matter of fact, I don't know what you guys are doing, but I love it because I'm showing like record number coach signups right now, comparable to that of the Team Cup in February. So like things are going really good. You guys are setting goals and you're hitting goals and loving it. But let me just, before we get into the nitty gritty of the call, just going to cover some announcements, right? We just had Super Saturday this past weekend. Raise your hand if you went to Super Saturday. Okay, so if you're a new call and you have no idea what I'm talking about, it is a quarterly event that us coaches host all over the country, right? So you might hear us talk a lot about the Miami Super Saturday, but if you're not in Miami, there are Super Saturdays everywhere. It's your responsibility to dig into your back office and find the location nearest you. Sometimes you'll have a huge event right around your corner, right around the corner from your house. Sometimes you might have to drive a little bit to get there. Sometimes people host them in their homes. Really, it runs the gamut on where, when, and how these events take place, but they are so critical to business growth, and it's actually something I'm going to talk about tonight. But Super Saturday was amazing here in Miami. If you didn't already hear, we had Kim Carver from Beachbody Corporate. He's head of the Hispanic market. He did a Hispanic meeting for an hour before the bigger event started, which was absolutely outstanding. And in fact, Monica, we should put on the calendar, this is just to remind me, we should recap that meeting for our Hispanic bilingual coaches. I think that would be, maybe even ask Kim to come on and do that presentation, but we'll talk about that after the call. And then we had Bonnie Engel come in, and she's the #2 ranked coach right now, and her presentation was outstanding. So what we're going to do is Rolly, thank God, got the whole presentation in one video. My freaking camera cut off midway, and I'm like, give me a phone, give me a phone, give me a phone, like screaming. And I got Dara Murillo's phone, but I have no idea how to merge the two. So thank God we have a tech guru, Rolly, who knows how to work those thingies and got it all recorded in one shot and has already uploaded it to YouTube. So I will be sharing that as well. But anyway, moving on from Super Saturday, there was some announcements that are very exciting. Number one, this one I had no idea. Everybody was like, oh yeah, I totally knew, and it totally went over my head, but Recover, from the performance line, is coming out in orange. It's in chocolate now. And we used to have results in recovery formula in orange, and I loved it, but it was loaded with a lot of sugar. Well, now the performance line is coming out with recover in orange. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I don't like chocolate. So this is like a big deal for me. So I thought I'd share that on the call with you guys. So I don't know when it's coming out. It's like soon. Like, I don't know if it's May or end of April, but it is coming out soon, which is very exciting for me. I don't know about you, but for me, it's exciting. I just saw on the back office, there's a T25 price reduction right now, and the challenge pack will be up for $160 as compared to $205. So that's a really big price reduction for all you T25 fans. I know Kristina, Roly, you guys all started with T25, and it's a soulmate program of yours. So T25 price reduction. Right now, our challenge pack sales are hammer and chisel, both Shakeology and with the performance line for $160, which is a great deal. Just signed a coach with that today. And then we have our club pack. So the club with Shakeology, $140, and that will come with the portion fix, which I think is a great addition, because not only are you getting your club membership with all the programs, but you're also getting the 21-day fix nutrition plan with it and the containers. That's $140. And then you have the club kickstart. So that comes with a 3-day refresh for $180, also with the portion fix. And then the club performance pack with the performance line supplements for $140, which is a great deal as well. And then on April 18th, the Ultimate Reset Challenge Pack will be dropped from $305 to $275. All right, so those are our challenge pack promotions this month. It's your job to start sharing that, sharing your testimonial. 22 Hardcore is still doing very, very, very well. And they've also changed the packaging for the 21-day fix. So our customers are going to have a nicer packaging when it arrives to their house. So like always, 21-day fix is our team's biggest seller. So keep promoting that and keep help changing lives. And then the big, big, big announcement at Super Saturday and also on the cruise a few weeks ago is our new program that will be released at Summit, which is called Country Heat. Everybody from Miami, yay! I'm just kidding. It's gonna be awesome. And if you're an elite coach on the call, I don't know if you noticed or saw an email. It hasn't come through to me, but I saw someone else post it, that we are gonna have a sneak peek of one of the Country Heat workouts pretty soon on demand. So maybe we'll throw a little line dancing party and have people do Country Heat with us in a Zoom call or something cool like that. So that would be awesome. But anyway, that program will be dropped at Summit. Usually when they do a release at Summit, if you're there, you can actually purchase your program at Summit, and then it'll launch to the network a few days later. So we're all very excited about Country Heat with Autumn Calabrese. All right, Monica, let's get this thing going. And if you don't know Monica, Monica will introduce herself, but she's a rock star, 2-time elite coach, and is our team's social media girl, right? She knows social media, she knows Instagram, she knows Facebook, she knows how to share value. So at the tail end of the call, actually, she's going to speak longer than I will, we'll be talking about social media. And what's really cool is that it's very comparable to some of the stuff Bonnie was talking about. So you're going to get Monica, if you weren't at Super Saturday, you're going to get Monica dishing out some drop-in knowledge with social media, and then watch Bonnie's presentation afterwards. And it's just going to reiterate what it was in a different way with a different perspective. So it's going to be real cool. All right, here we go. So we're going to screen share just a small presentation that we put together. And remember what I said at the beginning of this call, that I'm going to keep it basic, right? When we decided to put this presentation together for our newer coaches, the idea was that if you came on this call and listened to this, that you could walk away from the call and say, okay, I know how to do this. I know how to think. I know how to act. I know how to post. I know how to coach. Okay, let's go. Right? Keeping it as simple as possible, because whether you're a new coach or have been a coach for a while, at all levels, we tend to overcomplicate things, right? We tend to, oh, someone's writing on the screen again, Monica. We tend to overcomplicate what I believe is a simple business. I didn't say easy business. I said a simple business. It is work on yourself, drink that shake, read a book, share it on Facebook, rinse, repeat, and duplicate, right? That's as simple as this business sounds. But I'm going to break that down a little bit to have more concrete examples of what I mean by those things. But what I do want you to do for 1 second is to indulge me in vision, because as a coach and as someone that wants to see success in this business, I want you to understand that vision is a critical component to that success. Without vision, you're blind, right? And being blind makes you not act. When you have vision and action together, that's when dreams become reality. So what is vision? It's being able to see past this month, see past Success Club 5. Look at your life a year, 2 years, 3, 4, 5 years from now, and being able to visualize with complete clarity what your life looks like, what you want out of this business, what you see for you, what you see for your kids, what you see for your spouse, what you see for your family, whoever is part of your immediate circle. What do you see for yourself? Make that vision so clear that you can smell the smells, taste the taste, because when you can do that and you see it clearly and it's not fuzzy, that vision will draw you to act on this business. Because I am sitting here, and I don't like bragging, you guys know that, but I am sitting here as living, walking, breathing proof that when you have vision and you work this business consistently every day, every single day, and be consistent and persistent and intentional in the way you work your business, but that you see clearly what the future holds, that you can achieve a dream life. You can have this life by design that we like to say all the time. You can do that with Beachbody. But if you can't see past your nose, if you don't believe that you can have that dream life, that you can fire your boss, that you can, and you know, when I say these things, remember, success is defined however you define it. If you don't want to fire your boss, that's fine. I don't want to fire my boss at first. If you maybe just want to go on that vacation, well, let that be your vision. Whatever that vision is, make it clear so that it draws you. And one of my favorite quotes about vision, it says, make your vision so clear that your fears become irrelevant. Because as a new coach, as a coach that hasn't really gained traction in the business, or someone maybe that is successful or semi-successful but wants more, wants bigger, fear is usually one of the components that holds us back. And there's so many different renditions of fear. It could be fear of success, fear of failure, fear of anything, fear of rejection, fear of ridicule, whatever that is. But when you are 100% certain about what you want, I will tell you from experience, guys, not because, you know, I studied Tony Robbins or all of that. I'm telling you from experience, this is the truth in my business. Fear does not stop me. Whether it's speaking in front of 1,000 people or 14,000 people, whether it's getting on a call like this, sacrificing time, doing whatever it takes, I don't let fear stop me from being successful. I will be successful because I know what I want, and I'm taking steps every single day to achieve that dream. So that's what you need to have. And remember, it could start small. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be as scary as something maybe like that I would want, or maybe Monica would want. But have a vision and make it something that you can see, feel, taste, and makes your heart race. And then every day, wake up and go after it. All right, let's go on to the next slide. And then there was this one quote before I get into KISS, which I usually say, keep it simple, stupid. Monica put sweetheart because she thought I'm being too mean. But it is I saw a meme, or I don't even know how you say it, but what, like a post on Google Images said, big thinking precedes great achievement. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Big thinking precedes great achievement. If you have a small mind, if you don't think you can, if you don't believe, if you don't see, like I keep using that analogy, see past your nose, see the big picture, then your actions are going to be small. You're not going to make you're not going to take massive action towards your dream. So think big. Remember a few years ago, our Beachbody like theme for the year was dream big. And I'm asking you as a new coach, as a coach that needs to get their business started, or a leader that wants more, is to keep dreaming and dream big for yourself and for your family, because this business can make those things possible. All right, so keep it simple, sweetheart. I say stupid, but sweetheart. Like I said at the beginning of this call, we tend to overcomplicate a rather simple business. Not an easy business, but a simple business. And when you keep it simple, you keep it growing. When you overcomplicate, you get stressed out, and most people will stop. They'll stop taking that next step. They'll stop pushing the ball forward. So how did I decide that these are the things that I was going to talk about tonight? Well, because I looked at the last 5.5 years of my business and realized that this is what I did. This is what I did to keep my business simple and to keep it growing. So I'm sitting here, 15-star diamond. I have like 25 personally sponsored diamonds, a millionaire club, 4-time elite coach. I don't have a website. Monica and I were talking about this thing. I don't have a website. I don't have a blog. I don't have a system. You want to see notes from a call that I did today? Here they are on a paper. I will lose them by tomorrow. But one thing I do is that I keep it simple so that the way it works for me works for me. And whether that works for someone else or not, it's my system. It's the way that I do things. So don't compare yourself to other people. And just because someone has color-coded bookmarks with people's names on all, Google Streak and all this thing, like, do you, boo, right? Hashtag do you, boo. Do what is going to keep you moving forward, moving the ball forward towards that vision. All right. So number one, you own it. You're a Beachbody coach. That means you're a business owner. You signed up to start a business, right? And you become the CEO. You become the end all be all of the success that you can achieve, because it all starts and ends with you. It's not your upline. It's not the coaches you sponsor. It's not anything. It is up to you whether you're successful. So you got to own it every single day, and you got to show up every single day, rain or shine. I always like to talk about brick and mortar businesses or restaurants. Like, if the owner of a restaurant is sick, the show must go on, right? Or if there's a Broadway show and the lead singer is sick, the show must go on. Your business must go on, because what people are looking for in a coach is that they show up and they're consistent in not only improving them, but helping other people. So it's up to you, right? You got to own it. You got to live up to your commitment to yourself, to your goals, to that vision every single day. Number two, you have to believe it. You have to believe that Beachbody is the solution to everything. And you got to believe in the company. Beachbody, Carl Deichler, Jeff Hill, Michael Neiman, the trainers, you got to live it, right? We always say, bleed Beachbody blue, or did you drink the Kool-Aid? I will tell you, I drank the Kool-Aid, and I love the freaking Kool-Aid, right? Because the Kool-Aid has built a dream life for me and my family. You got to believe. And a lot of that comes with going to events and stuff, which I'm going to talk about. But know that, this is the real deal. Like, I just posted just now, I signed up between yesterday and today 2 of my former coaches. One of them, in fact, was a Star Diamond coach at one point, and let life get in the way, and they canceled, right? They quit, but they're back. They both signed up. And you know what that says to me? Not, shame on you for quitting. No, this is such the real deal that people come back to this dream. They come back to our products because they absolutely work. And I share it with confidence because I believe in it so much. And Shakeology, you guys, it's not every other day or every week. No, it's every single day. Become a 365er, because that's when it makes a difference in your health and your well-being. Number 3, show it. Be proof the products work. Be proof that Beachbody works. And that's because you do it every single day. You show up every single day and you live. You don't just talk the talk. You are walking the walk. And we're human. And it doesn't matter if you fall off the wagon every once in a while, but you get back up and you're showing your customers that, yes, we're human, but yes, we're still living a healthy lifestyle. And you're showing that the business works. You know, a lot of my new coaches are like, well, you know, I don't share the business because I'm not making a lot of money. Well, what's it to say that you're not successful already? In fact, if you were to take away the whole financial aspect of Beachbody, would you still be a Beachbody coach? You know what my answer is? Hell to the yes, I would be a coach. Why? Because I'm in the best shape of my life, because I'm surrounded with the best people I know, because I have fun, I get to travel, I get to do all these crazy cool things. I mean, every bucket in my life is filled because of Beachbody, and I don't even have to talk about the financial aspects. Does Beachbody coaching make you happy? I told this to one of my coaches today. She's like, well, I struggle with presenting the business. I go, does Beachbody coaching make you happy? She says, yes, it makes me happy. I go, then why aren't you sharing that, right? Why aren't you sharing something that gives you so much joy, even if your paycheck was $30 last week? If you keep sharing that joy, guess what's going to happen to that paycheck in 2 years? It's going to be $1,000 a week. It's going to be $1,500 a week, whatever. Sky's the limit for you. But you've got to show up every single day. Number 4, you got to know it. You know, you got to know your business. You cannot build a $500, $1,000 a week business if you don't even know your business, right? You can, and I did this for a while. I kind of fudged it at the beginning and I pretended like I knew what I was talking about, but I really didn't. And guess what? My paychecks reflected that. But when I started learning what Team Cycle Bonus meant, I learned coach placement. I just didn't throw coaches here and there, left and right. I knew how to present that to people. I knew how to teach that to people. I read the comp plan. Oh, yeah, I did. And I know I'm a lawyer and all that, but I read the comp plan and I saw what was possible in the comp plan. Matching bonus, team cycle bonus, the leadership bonuses. What is that? Because I want it. I want it all. And if you know it, you'll learn to grow it. Number 5, do it. I already said it. That means just showing up every single day, sharing every single day, being a business owner every single day. Number 6, I'm going to leave that to Mo. She's going to talk about the social media aspect, but it's an important one, right? Is it everything? No, it's not everything. You can do this business by one-on-one, getting people to events, but it's a big part of how we build our businesses. And like Bonnie says, I swear this is like the best part of Super Saturday. It's free 99, y'all. That's how she said it. I don't know if I made that justice, but it's free. Facebook and Instagram, they are free tools to help you grow your business. So share the journey and add value. Monica's going to talk about that. Number 7, attend the events. So we just had a big Super Saturday. The next Super Saturday is August 6th. It's the week after Summit. You know, hopefully you're going to Summit. If you're not, because of the timing of when you signed up, man, get to the next Summit and make sure you're setting goals to get to the New Leader Conference and to the Success Club trip in Punta Cana. If you're not on the wait list, get on the wait list. And remember that now the Success Club trips, you got to earn your way there, right? So guess what you have to do? You have to hit Success Club in order to get the Success Club trip. All these things are little intricacies that you should know because it's going to keep your business moving forward. But events changed my business. If you don't know my story, when I signed up as a coach, I was a discount coach. Becky, my sister, who's the first coach to sign up with Diesel Nation, she wanted to go to Super Saturday, which was actually the first Super Saturday, and she didn't want to go alone, so I went with her. And that was the day my business started. That was the day that I said, Success Club is non-negotiable for me. That was the day that I said, I'm going to do this. That was the day I said, I'm going to earn that trip to Atlantis. That was the day I decided that I was going to get rid of our credit card debt. So don't underestimate the power of live events. In network marketing, in what we do as coaches, it's super important. If you ask anyone that has had any success in coaching, they were impacted in one way, shape, or form by attending a live event. And it could have been as simple as having a conversation with a coach they did not know. or hearing a speaker say something that just resonated with them, or seeing the success. That was my thing. I saw the success and I was like, wow, if she could do it, I could do it. Or if he could do it, I could do it. And it made me want to push. Number 8, repeat. 1 through 7. That's what we do. And sometimes it's not sexy. Sometimes it's not exciting, but we have to, because we're running a business. We hit Success Club, we run challenge groups, we attract new people to our markets, we build relationships, we own it, we do it, we rinse, repeat, we read personal development over and over and over again to strengthen our minds, because when our minds are strong, we work. When our minds are weak, we stop. When minds are weak, there's no dream. So you have to read personal development, and that's repeated day in, day out. And as boring, let's be honest, as sometimes it can be, oh my God, another challenge group, and oh my God, more conversations, and oh my God, I have to post again. Yes. Because if I'm telling you that in 2 years, your life can look completely different, if I'm telling you that in 2 years, you can have half of your student loans paid off, or maybe even based on what your standard of living is, be able to cut down your hours or even walk away from a job. Is it worth it? Yes, it's absolutely worth it. And then you duplicate it. And here's a big one for me. If you bring a coach onto this team, it's your responsibility to make sure that they're doing 1 through 8 as well. And yes, there's going to be coaches that don't do it, and that's perfectly fine. But that you are consistently adding coaches to your team. Always remember that you yourself cannot build a multi-million-dollar company, but you and a lot of people that you bring on and that you train, they can. So build an army for yourself of people that love our products, believe in Beachbody, and want to help other people. If you can do that and do that consistently day in, day out, this business will work for you. And number 10, and I'm going to shut up now, but number 10 is important. And this is where I see a lot of coaches fail. They get on these calls, they go to events, they listen to podcasts, they go to YouTube, and they don't do anything that the people speaking tell them to do. They don't listen to anything. They're not coachable. They don't fix what's broken. If they're struggling to hit Success Club, they keep beating their head against the wall and not changing it and not fixing it, not figuring out what the missing link is between them and that sale, or them and that prospect, or them and any kind of success. They keep doing and doing and doing, and then they blame the system for it not working. The system's not broken. There's something that's broken within what you're doing in those actions. If it's broke, you have to fix it. I will tell you that I am not the same coach that I was when I signed up. If you go back to my social media posts, I was sharing my links publicly. My first transformation picture that I ever posted, I cut my head off. It was blurry and you couldn't hardly see me. Like, it was bad, right? And I changed and I evolved and I figured out, okay, people don't like that. People like that. Okay, let me say it this way. Let me add value more so than just showing off that I lost 65 pounds. Let me teach something. Let me inspire someone. And I change and I change and I change, and I watch other people. And when I see trends going a certain way, I fix. I don't copy. I fix what I do. I adjust my methods. If it's broken, you have to fix it. If you hear a coach say, use sneak peeks, because when I use sneak peeks, I sign 10 coaches. Why aren't you doing sneak peeks? Why aren't you sharing business opportunity calls? Why are you trying to reinvent the wheel? Do what works, what we say works, so that you can grow your business. I remember when we started, I didn't have any of this. Becky and I did, and Monica even we had to start from scratch, not knowing what to do, how to say it, how to sponsor, how to place coaches. We did not know, because we didn't have that upline support guiding us and mentoring us. So with the advantage that you have, that we have done it, we have walked the walk, and now we're teaching it to you. Be coachable. When we say go right, don't go left, okay? Stay with us. So that's what I wanted to say. If you leave this call, all I want you to know is that if you do 1 through 10, consistently, persistently, day in, day out, you can absolutely see success in whichever way you want in this business. Now let's move on to probably a more important topic, because it is it is actually a hot topic right now in Beachbody, and it's social media. But Monica can cover her best practices in growing your business through social media. Monica?
All right. Well, give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me, just to make sure. We're good? Okay, good. All right. So it's kind of funny that Christy talked about how far back it's been that I've been with her and Becky on this journey. If you guys don't know this, Christy and I actually used to work together at the law firm. She was my boss, and we worked together for years before actually venturing into this together. And if I remember correctly, I joined the Diesel Nation team page when there was about 60-something coaches on there. So that's how far back I go. And I tell you guys that because I can tell you that my journey as a coach has had plenty of ups and downs. And I've had to learn to grow with the business, grow myself. I have consistently had to learn how to stop, evaluate what I'm doing, and figure out, like Christy says, like fix what I could do better, or learn how to grow with my business. Because if there's one thing we constantly have to be doing is evolving with the time, with the business, with what's happening, evolving ourselves. So we aren't the same person, and we keep bringing new aspects of us. So I say that, and I talked about this on the call with the new coaches that we had last week, because what I see a lot happening is that new coaches come into the business and they start blowing out of the water right away with Success Club points, commission-based business off of their warm market. And we all know, as if you're a seasoned coach on this call and you've been around for a year or two, you know that warm market starts to kind of dry up a bit. And then that rush of people joining you, your friends and your family, your coworkers, all the people that already trust you and already are going to listen to what you have to say and are going to align themselves with you in this journey, that's going to kind of start to fizzle away. And so it's really important that we learn to really build our social media accounts, because like Kristina said and Bonnie said, it's free, and it's our way of reaching thousands upon millions of people that we like organically would not reach in person day to day, and that we could not interact with. So what I want to talk about tonight is how to continue to build your network and your brand via social media. And I want to help you just kind of figure out, okay, who am I targeting? Who am I talking to? What can I do to really impact people? What can I say? What can I post? What are the things that I should be doing day to day? How consistent should I be? What should I be sharing so that I can continue to grow my business? When I talked about earlier how my journey has been a lot of ups and downs, I can tell you that I spent probably almost a good 2 years barely scraping by Success Club. I'm a Success Club legend, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to be honest here. I'm a Success Club legend 5, and there were plenty of months where I barely hit those 5 points. I used to have a mind of scarcity. I felt like, oh my God, I'm going to run out of people. Oh my God. You know, as the years passed by, I was like, how am I going to keep doing this? And today I'm 34 months strong. And I'll tell you, the last almost 10 months now, not only have I been Success Club 10 qualified and above, but I've been hitting in the range of Success Club 15 to even 25 consecutively for the last 7 months. Now, what changed? I started really diving into what I was doing in social media that worked and did not work. I started targeting the people that I wanted to talk to. I started learning what, like Kristina says, what do people want to see about me? What is it that is attractive? What do I do that is good, and what do I do that's bad? And so today I want to challenge you to answer a couple of those questions for yourself, okay? Know your niche. Who are you targeting? Do you know who you're targeting? It's really important that you know that. It's really important that you understand who it is that you will connect with and that will connect with you, because in the end, those are the people that you want on your team, the people that are going to be like your, you know, like Christy said, your army, but your army has to be made up of people of like-minded who want the same things that you want. And so it's good to know your niche so that you connect with the people that you're working with. 2, know your ideal customer. Have you taken time to make your customer? You know what your avatar customer wants, needs? Do you know what she does on a daily basis or he does on a daily basis? Do you know what they look like? Do you understand who it would be your ideal customer to then later be a coach in your team? And 3, nail down your brand. What is one word that describes what your brand is all about? Can you nail it down to one word, maybe two, that nails down what you're about? Because when you can do all these things, then you're really nailing down who it is that you're going to work with and who in a perfect world will eventually be on your team. And that's really important to know. Bonnie Engel said a great quote this weekend at Super Saturday. She says, if you're appealing to everybody, then you're appealing to nobody. And I really thought that was powerful, because most people think, well, I don't care who buys from me. I don't care who joins me. I just want people. And really that doesn't tend to work out. That's what the years have taught me. It doesn't tend to work out, because they're not people that are going to align themselves with what you believe in and what you're doing. And that's what you want. So these three things are really important for you to do, first and foremost. Second, you build your business by building relationships. That's the bottom line. I like to say to my team that I feel like my job is to make friends every day. I mean, that's really what I do. I talk to people all day long, and I just build relationships. Now, there's a way to do this with intent behind it, and there's a way to do it so that, yes, you're not just chit-chatting all day and going, being busy scrolling through the news, but that you're actually out there seeking people that will join you and align themselves with you in your business. And so here's a couple of tips that I have for you for building relationships. On the public front, what people see on social media, there's 4 things that you can be doing. 1, being real. Like Bonnie said this weekend, she says surface level doesn't connect. Surface level posts don't connect. And what she means by that, for example, if you just worked out and you posted yourself, all sweaty selfies saying, got my workout in, did you? That's not going to go very far than saying and diving into a story that you can share about yourself, breadcrumbing who you are into that post. By saying, I just got my workout in. Once upon a time, this was very difficult for me, but I've built up lifestyle, and today I feel XYZ. There's a way to kind of go out there and I guess throw a bone to people, telling them what you're about and who you are. And that way it connects with them. It resonates with people. If you just put a sweaty selfie and expect somebody to connect with that, it's not going to go very far. It doesn't mean you can't do those things once in a while, yes, but if your complete social media is comprised of that, and there's nothing put out there for them to connect with, then it's almost like it's a really great journal, a really great diary that you're hosting there. Second is another Bonnie Engel tip that I really loved. She talked about the BFF rule. When you're talking on your social media, when you're posting things, the BFF rule is stop and read it to yourself and say, is this the way that I would speak to my best friend? Is this the way that I would present this idea or talk about this topic to my best friend? If there aren't words you're used to using, if they aren't a language that really depicts who you are, then don't write it. That's not you. What's going to separate you from 400,000 other coaches in the network is who you are. And when people finally join your team, they want to feel like they know the person that they chose and they know the person that they're working with. So it's important to use the BFF rule and just be yourself and speak the way that you speak. We talked about breadcrumbing your story out. And then the fourth would be to beat objections. You can do this publicly. We've talked about this before, where any objection coming your way, you can just get out there and tackle them. Tackle them in a nice way, but tackle them, because you know what that does? It earns your viewers' trust. Now they feel, well, if they felt that way about the product, they felt that way about the business opportunity, if they felt that way about Shakeology, now they have a certain trust in you that they can share their feelings with you. They already saw your objection and maybe they have a couple more questions, or maybe they're going to come to you with enough trust to feel relieved and say, I was really thinking that maybe that shake, was just like the stuff in GNC, but you really helped me understand that it's not. And so I want to give it a shot. I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me. So beat objections and earn trust through that way of opening that door and not seeming like you're rainbows and butterflies. So those are things that you could be doing publicly on your social media to build relationships. But let's talk a little bit about behind the scenes, because I think this is where a lot of disconnect happens, right? We see coaches say, well, I post every day, I talk to people, and I'm not getting any business. What am I doing wrong? Well, there's a couple things behind the scenes, and here's some tangible ways to build your business. I seek out new clients. I seek out people that I would ideally want a part of my business eventually. versus a customer, and eventually in the business. What do I mean by that? Well, remember when we talked about your niche, targeting your ideal customer and knowing who will fit into your brand? Well, once you nail that down, I go out there and I find, for me, it's usually moms of more than 2 or 3 kids, because they get my circus here at home. They understand what it is to have 3 kids. I target fit couples because my husband and I are very adamant about our fitness, and we are very serious about it. And so it's something that's woven into our life day in and day out. I like to target people that were in the legal field like I was. These are all types of people that I seek out. I seek out moms that just had babies because I know I can help them regain their confidence. And so I go through Facebook, I go through Instagram, and I literally like or follow these women and sometimes men, okay? Because I know what I'm looking for. I know there's a lot of coaches that have come to me and say, well, I don't know, because, I don't know about adding people to my Facebook or Instagram that I don't know with, personal photos. Well, you know what? You got to get to learn Facebook and learn Instagram. If you want, build a whole new Instagram account or Facebook. Learn how to use your security settings on Facebook, because the bottom line is if you just put out a bunch of material and you're waiting for your circle of people to finally, react, you're preaching to the same choir. You have to get out and meet new people. And if there's certain things that you don't want people that you don't know seeing just yet, well, then you have to learn how to use the security settings and block it out just to friends, family, coworkers, or whoever it is you do want seeing. But it is imperative that you learn to step out of your comfort zone and meet new people. It's just the same as standing in a networking event and meeting new people, talking to new people, going up to them and sharing about yourself. It's the same concept. But I'll tell you what, the difference between a coach who is highly successful in commission-based business, who later team building, right? When you convert your customers into coaches on your team, is that they don't sit back and wait for people to come to them. They are out seeking the next person on their team as people are also coming to them. And so that's really important. I hope you guys understand that, all of us that are in the business many years and have already, gone through our warm market, this is something we actively do. We actively add, I know for me, 10 to 15 on Facebook a day of friends onto my contact list, my network. And in Instagram, I follow up to 30, 50 people a day. And I start building relationships that way. Now, there's a sub part to that. So once you're adding these people to your page, it's really important that you don't put all your focus and energy into being interesting to them, right? So a lot of times we work on just being interesting. We're worried about what we're posting. We're worried about what we're putting out there, our workout picture, the food we put, the quotes we put, all this stuff. We're so worried about what we're doing and the show we're putting on that we forget to be interested in others, interested in the people that we have friended or we have followed. So it's just as important to work on being interested in others. And that means going to their page, checking out what's happening in their life, commenting on what's happening on their post or anything that's interactive on their page, going to their Instagram and giving them a nice little double tap and writing comments. That's your way of behind the scenes building relationships. Another thing that I also do on Facebook, I'd like to join specialty groups, whether it's a group for dogs. And now that I'm a first-time fur mom, I joined a lot of puppy pages and Samoy pages for the breed of dog that I have. Fashion, faith, military, sports, whatever it is that you're into, join those small groups. Now, it does not, I repeat, it does not mean you go in there and say, hi, my name is Monica Lopez and I'm a Beachbody coach. I'm here for your fitness needs. No, you're going to get kicked out like right away. You're not even going to get a chance to see what that group is about because they're going to kick you out fast. What you want to do is, go in there with the intention of building relationships and making friends. And so I go into these pages and I post Whether it's the puppy page, I post daily pictures of Sky, and I sit there and I interact. I ask for advice. I share stories about her. I just start talking. And little by little, it's actually allowed me to make like private conversations where someone will message me and say, oh, you know what? I got a really great tip for your dog that's chewing up everything in your house. And so from there, it turns into what I do. Why? Because on my personal page, I am successfully doing all the other things, right? Sharing, being real, talking like I am, breadcrumbing my story. And so the topic of conversation naturally comes up. But first, I built that relationship based on our love for our puppies. And so that's how it organically happens when you join these groups. So find the groups of things that interest you, whatever it may be, and start to get out there and really share about yourself, share and relate to others. And then fourth, by the time you finally get someone interested in what you have to offer, whether it's your next challenge group, whether it's a business opportunity call that you're on, that someone's interested in the business and you caught their attention, I beg you to learn to stop and listen before talking. It's so many of us, I know I used to do this so many times whenever I got on the phone with somebody. They'd say, so what's this coaching thing? Or what's this challenge group you've got? And I would just start vomiting everything I knew and then say, so you interested? And so that there was zero connection made. That person just feels like I just vomited all over them, told them everything I knew, and is expecting a decision right then and there. And sometimes I could feel a little bit like they're pressured. I've learned to sit back and listen. So if I get the call and says, so tell me about this challenge group and how much does it cost? The first thing I say, well, before we get into that, tell me about your goals. Tell me about what you're aiming to do, or tell me about how you heard about me. And I start asking questions. I start forming with them, getting to know them. And I learn to stop talking, stop yapping, and listen. Doesn't it make you smile when someone says, so tell me a little bit about yourself? Don't you automatically go, well, my name is, and I do this. People love to talk about themselves. And when you take the time to really get to know who they are, it's going to empower you as a person that's going to be able to help them, because you're going to be able to beat the objections. You're going to be able to talk to them with confidence because you know what they need. You know what part of the business or what part of your challenge group they need and what you can present to them to really sell them on the idea of working with you. You know, getting them on the phone is half the battle, but it's actually getting them to fully trust you and join you is the ultimate goal. So those are some behind the scenes that maybe you could do a little bit of a gut check and say, well, am I doing couple of these things wrong? Or am I sitting back and waiting for people just to come to me? Or am I forgetting to really stop and get to know people when I get on the phone with them? Those are all really great gut checks that you can make to make sure that you're building a business by building relationships. All right, so next thing I want to talk about is leading with fitness and business. And Christy kind of touched on this a little bit earlier. And Bonnie Ingold also touched on it on Saturday when she said, you get what you post for. And I thought that was crazy awesome. You get what you post for. Often I see in this business, people are 99% leading with the fitness. And here and there, when they get the guts or when they feel like stepping out of their comfort zone because they're brave that day, they'll post about the business opportunities, especially newer coaches, because like Christy said, they feel like they have nothing to show for the business just yet. Well, leading with the fitness is fantastic, but I'll tell you what happens is that leading with the fitness, what you're going to attract are people that are falling on and off the fitness wagon. Now, who does not fall on and off the fitness wagon? I just came back from a Beachbody cruise. We partied for 5 days. I fell off. Imagine if my business revolved around solely the fitness. Then you'd have people falling off left and right all the time. And maybe that's you right now. Maybe you're like, oh, I can't even get this person to work out. That person's probably not going to be the best business partner, because you're attracted to someone that's still largely struggling with fitness, and that's all they see this business about is fitness. When you start to weave in the business, which to me is the real value. Why? Because what we sell is the Beachbody lifestyle. We don't just sell fitness programs and Shakeology and a great food system, right? Those are our tools. Those are the tools that we use to better our lives, starting from the outside, right? To create that feeling, that emotion that creates motion, That's what we use. Those are our tools. But the real value of what we do in Beachbody is what the business brings, and that's accountability. It brings friendships. It brings a community. It brings a place to fit in, teamwork. It brings, and when you start to build it, you get that financial freedom. You start earning in ways that possibly, you've been capped in the job that you're in, and you're able to break through ceilings. I mean, there's so many ways you could travel. There's so many aspects about the business from one end to the other that are so beautiful that so many people relate to, far more than fitness. Okay, fitness is probably the biggest struggle for a lot of people. So when you learn, the sooner you learn how to lead with business, just as much as you lead with fitness, you are golden. And so I want to kind of share with you guys how I celebrated Beachbody all throughout the years, landing me where I am today, how my progression is and how I shared it. So when I first started, when I was just a coach, I honestly signed up for the discount. I didn't really know if I was going to work this business. I didn't even know if I could work this business because I doubted myself so much. What I started talking about more than anything was the community and the friendships that I was making and the accountability that this business gave me. So then I felt like a coach, now I got to, act the part. I got to be a product of the product. And so that's what I talked about. I shared a lot about the friends that I was making, the events that I was going to, because I was already going to Super Saturdays at that time. Christy and I would get together and work out at her house, and we would talk about it, all those kinds of things. We celebrated that aspect of the business because at that time I was not making money. And so I felt like, okay, well, if I can't talk about that, why am I here? There's something that brought me here. So that's what I came up with. And those are some of the things I talked about. Then when I started to get those small checks coming in where, I sold a couple of Shakeologies and I was getting those $50 to $100 a week paychecks and I was really excited, I learned to celebrate that as, okay, well, how is this going to resonate with somebody? It could be gas money. It could be a credit card payment. I remember clearly, and I shared this with the new coaches last week, I remember clearly getting a flat where we had to change both tires in the front. And Johan and I were like, oh my God, we have to that was like a cost it came out of left field and we weren't expecting. And the pay for Beachbody that week was almost exact to the dollar of what the bill was for the front tires that we had to replace. And I will never forget, we were looking and we were kind of laughing at that. We're like, okay, well, hey, I just made that money in Beachbody. It's not going to really affect us. And I shared that. I made sure to share that. I shared when it came, later on when I progressed in the business and it was starting to grow and I was still working, when I got pregnant with my third baby, it was the first time that I gave birth and was able to take all 3 months of my maternity leave. I am a mother of 3, and it wasn't until my third child that I actually stayed home for those 3 months. Other times I went back 4 to 6 weeks. As soon as my C-section healed, I was back at work. I didn't have the luxury of staying home with my kids. I needed to earn my paycheck because we needed it at that time. And because of this business, it was a breeze staying home with me. I didn't have to worry about anything, and I was back to work. So that's something else that I celebrated when that happened. And then, of course, with time, I retired myself, as you guys know. I came to work from home, and I continue to talk about that. But I want you guys to know, and hopefully one day, like I told the coaches last week, I'll be sharing about my house and the keys and my boat like Kristina and Becky. But until then, nonetheless, I continue to share the things that are happening in my life that translate on how this business has been a blessing. I sit back and I celebrate what Beachbody has done for me. Now, I want you guys to know, and I want to highlight here, that oftentimes coaches think, oh, well, I don't have anything grand. I didn't leave my job and all those things, But, sometimes people see that as so far-fetched for them. Someone that is just starting up, that has no idea what this business opportunity is about, you explain that to them, and they say, well, that's great for that person. That's probably the 1 in a million lucky person. It doesn't hit so close to home like talking about the smaller, successes like I talked about a little bit earlier. So get out there and don't be afraid. One thing I always tell my team is ask yourself, do you feel angry at the person that brought you into this business? Do you feel that you were victimized? Do you feel like this was a bad decision? Do you feel like you were used? Do you feel like this is fraud? Like Kristina said, are you happy as a coach? If you are, and I know you are because you're on this call tonight and there's something inside of you that is dying to make this grow and dying to make this work for yourself and you want it bad, then get out there and share that. Share what it is that brings you here today, fighting so hard. Because those are the things that are going to resonate with other people. And that's what you're going to attract. You get what you post for. One more thing I'm going to talk about on this leading with the business, and this is a little bit of a personal story, but I'm going to share it with you guys today because, your tests become your testimony. There was a point when I had my first child, I was 20 years old, and we were living in a very small apartment that cost us $700 of rent. My husband was working like 16 to 18-hour shifts a day. We were young and we were just learning how to make it, and we had a baby very early. And I remember one of my lowest points as a mom, like my rock bottom as a mom, was my oldest son. He was asthmatic, and I remember him being at the pediatrician's office because he had an asthma attack and we needed more of his medication, his albuterol. And in order to see the doctor, I needed to pay a $50 copay, and we didn't have it. We did not have $50. I mean, if that's not the lowest of low, we were tapped out on credit cards. We did not have the cash in the bank account. And here I am, I needed to pay for my child's medication to see a doctor, and I couldn't do it. That was a real low for me. And I was only like 21 years old, 22 years old. But it always hit home. And I remember being that mom where I was like, something's got to give. I got to figure out a way to make more money. I was already working 2 jobs. Well, I'm sorry. I was working a job and going to school. I was trying to, we were trying to make ends meet. My husband was drowning in overtime. And I was looking for a way just to bridge that gap. $200 a month would have been everything for us at that time. And so whenever I get afraid to post about the business, or when I used to get afraid about posting the business, I remember me, that mom, looking for something. At that time, there was a friend of mine that was selling Mary Kay. And I actually called that friend. She came over, and she came with her whole starter kit and started showing me all the stuff, because I called her and I said, listen, okay, fine, if it's makeup, I just got to figure out a way to make money. Can you come over and help me learn how to make money? She came over, she started telling me about the products, sharing everything with me. But here's the part where she couldn't get me, is that she told me it was going to cost $500 for a starter kit, a business starter kit. $500. And here I was, someone who was in a desperate need to make money, and they were asking me to spend $500 in product to then hopefully sell. And that's why I didn't do it. Beachbody, you guys know that the startup fee, if you're smart and you buy your challenge pack and you use those tools, because those are your tools for yourself, you're consuming yourself, your startup fee is like $0 and your overhead a month is $15. So what we have here is a true opportunity for that mom like me at 21, 22 years old with a baby, trying to figure out how they're going to bridge a gap. We can impact moms like that. We can impact families like that. And if you really hold that true to your heart, then you will not be afraid to lead with the business. You will not be afraid to touch on those subjects, because they're real. And that's what people are really going to connect to. The fitness is fantastic. The abs are great, but it only goes so far. So dig deeper and learn to lead with the business. I digress. All right, next. Jab, 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 right hook. So this is a really great book. And Gary I always messed up his last name. Anyway, Gary V. He's going to be at Summit. He's going to be the keynote speaker if you're going. So that's going to be a real treat for us. But this book was something that really, and I think this is one of the most important parts of my whole presentation tonight, because when I applied this, I started to see a huge change in the responses on my social media. So Jab, 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 Right Hook is a book written on social media. And it's a boxing analogy. And basically, the concept behind it is give your customers as much about you as you can, so that when you ask them to do something, they are more inclined to respond. So what does that mean? That means the jabs, as Gary puts it in his books, the jabs, the boxing analogy. That's the post about you, your family, your workouts, your Shakeology, your meals, what you did over the weekend, your humor, your quotes. All those things are jabs, right? You're jabbing. But you're not going to win the fight. You're not going to win the trust of your viewers and the response of your viewers and followers unless you come in for that right hook. So what's the right hook? The right hook is any call to action, whether it's a call to action to join your challenge group, whether it's a call to action to join your business opportunity call, whether it's a call to action to hear your story out and align themselves with you or reach out to you for help. Whatever the case may be, if we're not out there throwing right hooks, then we're not giving anybody anything to respond to. So what it may look like, your social media may look like, is this grand old diary, this great journal, and everybody's seeing all these posts of all these wonderful things about your life. And you know what they're thinking? Wow, good for Leslie. Good for Leslie. She's great. She looks great. Good for you. They're going to give you 2 thumbs up. They're going to have absolutely no idea that they have a place in your puzzle. They have a place in what you're doing. So if you're not coming in for those right hooks, then it's almost like all that work you're doing is useless. And those right hooks sometimes can be a little uncomfortable, right? Do them anyway. Do them anyway. Even if you get crickets, you post, you get crickets, do it anyway. Here's what I'm going to tell you. If you're just throwing a bunch of jabs, you're going to be doing a lot of useless work. Here's another thing. Let's flip it. If you're throwing right hooks, okay, without ever throwing out there anything about you, anything to connect with, your humor, who you are, what you do, any of those things, and you're only throwing hooks, join me, contact me, message me, what are you going to sound like? Big old sales pitch, a billboard. So it's important that you are jab, 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 right hooking, that ratio right there. And I've learned to do this on my social media. There's the scroll test. If you go to Facebook and you scroll up and down twice and you can't figure out who you are, what you do, and what place people have, then you're not jab, 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 right hooking. You're not boxing correctly. If you can go to Instagram and the first 6 photos do not tell who you are, what you do, and where they fit in, then it's incomplete. Okay, so that's the scroll test. And Bonnie kind of touched on that a little bit this weekend also. And this book, Jab, 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 Right Hook, how do you recommend? Again, Gary's going to be the keynote speaker, and I'm sure he's going to touch on some of this cool stuff. But that was a quick summary for you, and something that completely changed my business when it came to social media. And I can tell you that's how I am earning so many Success Club points, because I have stuck to that system. All right, I'm going to wrap it up, guys, because I know we're almost out of time. 3 tips that I want to walk away with today. Post 3 to 5 times a day. I think that's just a healthy, everywhere I hear, every training I've ever taken, every person that's successful on social media, it's branding themselves miraculously, perfectly great, says this 3 to 5 times a day. Any less, you're not being consistent. Any more, you're going to drown people out, and they're going to be like, oh, and they're going to shut you out. 3 to 5 times a day, and make sure those 3 to 5 are value, okay? 2, create a posting schedule. So for me, like I said, when I learned to nail down what my systems should be, my jabs and my hooks, and I learned the things that I want to do with my social media, I have a calendar, and I write out what days I need to execute certain things. And I also put this calendar into my team. So I know for the month of April when my business opportunity calls are, when my happy hours are, when my challenge groups are, when my team calls are. All these things, there's a schedule made so that I don't forget to add an ingredient to my big stew of social media. Make sure that you're covering all your bases, because it's so easy. Like Kristina said, life gets in the way, or vacation happens, or Super Saturdays happen, and you just feel like you're all up in the wind and you don't know where you're going, or if you're coming or going. Posting schedules are important. It seems so simple, but if you don't do it, it's easy to miss stuff. And then lastly, keep running lists, because here's another thing. You're meeting a lot of people online. Okay. And because there's not that face-to-face interaction right away, and it's kind of a lot of typing, maybe getting on a phone call, you may lose track of who you're talking to. What I do is I keep a chart, and it says the name, the place of where I met them, whether Instagram, Facebook like page, email, or if they're a referral. I write down what they're interested in, whether it's a program or coaching, and then I have notes. Mother of 3, lives in Virginia, loves the Miami Dolphins, wherever our conversation went in, any keywords that I can write down to help remind who I spoke to, so that when I get back on the phone with them, or if I text them again, or I follow up with them, it's personalized, which adds that personal touch. That happens because I keep running lists of every single person I talk to and notes. So that's about it. I think that wraps it up. Chris, you there?
Yep, I'm here. Wow, that was awesome. Lots of discussion in the chat about stuff that you were saying, Monica. On point, well prepared, great job. We are at an hour and a little bit already. I just wanted to make one more post. Instead of doing one of my closing State of the Union addresses like I normally do, I just want to say one thing to address this issue about sharing the business, because that was the discussion on the thread. You guys need to stop talking so much. And I say that in the kindest, most sincere way. The reason why you see, and go through even, to keep it simple, go through my Instagram and how I present the business. It is always one of two ways. My phone is going nuts. One of two ways: a sneak peek or a business opportunity call. My call to actions to share the business are always a sneak peek group, whether it's a 3-day group or a happy hour group, or a business opportunity call, all of which are open to every single person on this team. They are the way to present this business in a less aggressive, you don't vomit Beachbody way that people understand. It keeps it simple. It actually is a better way, because what we tend to do is we present the discount because it's the easiest way to present this business to get people to sign up. That's not the point of this. The point is you want people to come in to your business and work the business with you and become a team member and business partner of yours. Use sneak peeks, use business opportunity calls, and when you're presenting someone with a fitness program or Shakeology, stop talking. Head to YouTube, grab a link from the 21-Day Fix, grab a link on Shakeology, send them a link, and then ask for a follow-up and ask them, what did you like about what you saw? Not what did you think, what did you like? That's the quick and dirty on third-party tools. It is imperative. If you've read GoPro, you know there's 2 ways to present effectively a business like this. Number 1, live events. Number 2, third-party tools. Our third-party tools, the ones that coaches have figured out is the best way to present the Beachbody business. And obviously, I'm not talking about the social media post that Monica said of the jab, 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 right hook. I'm talking about the actual discussions, the conversations. You need to stop and invite them to a group, a sneak peek group, or invite them to an opportunity call that either you or your upline is hosting. That is the effective way of presenting this business opportunity to get people working the business as opposed to signing up only for the discount. Okay, that's my State of the Union closing. That is how we're going to wrap up this call. Great job, everybody, for staying on so long. Have a great night. Let's have an amazing April. We set a record number of Success Club earners in March. I think we could up that number in the month of April. I'm pretty certain we can do it. Let's rock. You guys are awesome. To all our new coaches, welcome. Sorry, I had a glass of wine, so I was very riled up today. But it's what it is. It's who I am, and I just want to see you guys succeed. That's why I bring so much energy, and Monica brings so much energy tonight. So good night. If you can sleep right now, if not, go do some inviting, and have a great week, everybody. Bye.
Bye.